Gage, along with Robert Moriarty and JD Muzinski. And our special guest for the interview is Gage Cowart. Gage, my man, I've heard a lot about you. I've heard you sing the national anthem. I've listened to your music on Facebook and wherever else that I see it posted, and you are an amazing talent, no doubt about that. Welcome in, and how are you doing?
Hey, doing good. I appreciate y'all having me, man.
Yeah, man. So how'd you get into playing music? Let's start there. Like, what's your instrument?
It's kind of a funny story.
All
I
right.
play
Okay, I love
acoustic
funny
guitar,
All right.
and then obviously I sing as well. I never sang growing up, never was in choir, never played guitar, never played any instruments of any kind. I just like music, and my parents like music. They introduced me to a lot of good music. And a few years ago, I guess maybe 2.5 or so, I decided out of nowhere that it would be a good idea for me to try to learn how to play a guitar because I have 2 kids, and I wanted to kind of introduce the concept of learning a musical instrument to them and hopefully inspire them down the line to learn something. And ended up picking it up pretty quick. And then next thing I know, I'm able to play a few of my favorite songs. And then next thing I know, I'm writing songs, and then I'm playing shows, and then it just took off from there.
Man.
And yeah, I think that the way I like to say it is that I don't have any talent in my body. I'm just very blessed by the good Lord upstairs that I get to navigate the path that I'm on now and get to see and do a lot of really cool stuff.
Well, heck of a job being a vessel there. I play a little bit of guitar, just a little bit of the chords, G, C, D,
Yeah,
minor, some
that's
A
all you
minor.
need right
Exactly.
there.
I know enough to say I can play guitar, but then anyone who plays guitar, they're like, hey, you know, and I'll be very upfront with that.
Yeah.
But that's awesome, man. Only 2.5 years ago. I mean, so how long do you feel like it took you to learn? Because I love how you brought that up. You wanted to pass on to your kids something to learn, and you didn't even know it yourself at that point in time. And I think a lot of the times when we're learning when we're younger, it's a lot easier. Mm-hmm. And then as we get older, I think that we put roadblocks in our minds and say, oh, if I would have done this and give up. But you didn't, and now look at where you're at. So how long did it take you to learn how to play the guitar?
Man, I want to say I got the hang of it pretty quick. There was definitely a few times where like the kids were listening to me learn, and they were kind of like squinting their eyes a little bit, like, "Oh yeah, it sounds great." But then eventually, I kind of got the hang of the root chords. We call them cowboy chords.
There you go. Yeah.
And once you learn 4 or 5 of those, you can play any country song there is. And once I realized that, I was like, "Oh my gosh, you know, I wonder if I can sing and actually make something out of this." And sure enough.
Why country music?
I grew up in South Alabama, was raised on country music, and that's always been music that I kind of lean towards. Now, I listen to all different kinds of music, but with the way my accent is and the stuff I grew up on, I tend to lean a little bit more towards the country music style. I like the storytelling, the way that the songs are written, and for me, country music is when you can close your eyes and you can kind of be in the song and picture yourself there. That's how you know you got a good song.
And I would say, I don't hate on today's music, but I think today's music is more about how stuff sounds more than how it makes you, how stuff sounds and it makes you feel, rather than listening to the lyrics and seeing the picture that was painted by the artist and being able to use your imagination. And that's what I love about people who really write their lyrics and mean their lyrics and tell that story. Who would you say is your biggest top 3 influences?
Oh man, I'm always have difficulty with this question. They change a lot. So
yeah, that makes, you know what that means? I love that because as someone who kind of, I enjoy music a lot, that means that you're continuously evolving as well.
Yeah, and I listen to a lot of different styles of music. Going back, someone a little older, I listened to a lot of Travis Tritt. I think Travis Tritt's one of those old 90s country guys that could, you know, he had encompassed the concept of giving the listener the picture of the song where they can see it all play out. I think second would probably be a guy named Tyler Childers.
Okay.
If you guys have ever heard of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was one of the guys I was really, really into, still am, but was really into at the time I started learning. And the first song I learned how to play on guitar was one of his called Shake the Frost.
Yeah.
And he's on another level for songwriting. Third influence is kind of an up-and-comer band. They're called Muscadine Bloodline. They're based out of, or they came out of Mobile, Alabama.
Yeah. I came across them yes.
They are damn good. They're kind of
like a Red Clay Strays a little bit. Yeah.
Yes, they actually just opened for them at Red Rocks
Wow.
not too
How
long
about
ago.
that?
Yep. But they I like Muscadine Bloodline because I relate so much to them with the fact that they're a country band, but they bleed in their other influences like punk and emo rock and some of the older stuff and even rap. They talk about rap in some of their lyrics. I'm like, man, that's so cool to bring other genres into country music
Yeah.
like that. And they encompass that really well.
I love that, man. So you're making an impact here with the Impact family. Rob, how did this whole relationship start?
Well, a few years back, with some of our first events, Gage actually did security for us. He's with the Bay County Sheriff's Department and was one of the security guards at the events that we had, and developed a relationship there. Seen him all the time at the events. Had a lot of mutual friends as well. And then after that, we found out that he wanted to sing, and I was like, awesome, man. I mean, we're all about supporting everybody's dreams, whether it's fighters, whether just anybody in the network.
Where's the camera at? He's not just saying that, by the way. He actually means that. There's a reason why I'm sitting right here, and it has nothing to do with me. It has to do with these guys saying, here, you dream it, do it.
So it's like, if we have a platform and we have a way to do stuff and we can get people out there, why not use it in multiple ways? And earlier you said you were a vessel.
Yeah.
So to me, I feel the same way. I think everything happens for a reason. And at one point, Gage said he wanted to sing. And we were about to have one of our New Year's Eve parties at the property. And Shelby approached me. She was like, we need to have Gage out here. So literally, she organized it. She got the communication done, had a big get-together at the land. Gage came out and sang. He's like, man, what do you want me to sing? I'm like, well, I'm going to open up my playlist right now and what I'm listening to. It was a whole lot of Zach Bryan, Dylan Gossett, Tyler Childers.
Yep.
And it just happened to be a whole bunch of songs that he was already learning. And it worked out great.
Everything happens for a reason, as you said.
Yep.
We got some videos of it. It was pretty cool. I mean, it wasn't the biggest setup, like production-wise or anything. It was just him singing at the party. And it sounded great. A whole bunch of people loved it. Started getting a following. Flash forward, I don't know, what do you think, maybe 6 months or so?
Yeah.
And you're opening up at bars, local
Yep.
bars and stuff like that. And national anthem at our events. Why not? Put it in there.
Which is a heck of a song, by the way. I'll never forget when he asked me to do it. He was like, you want to play the national anthem? I was like, yeah, immediately. And then I sat back about 30 minutes after that conversation. I was like, that's the hardest song in the world to sing. And everyone will remember if I mess it up. Mm-hmm. But I got lucky, or I got blessed, as I like to say, that I was able to do it. So
Went very well. And then, we had a couple of opportunities in the future. We had done some music at events prior. And we took a shot at getting a bigger production at Edgewater. Whole stage setup. I mean, not quite concert grade production, but up there.
it was pretty close.
And so we had Gage, a heavy rock band.
Oh, I remember that event very
yeah.
vividly. Yeah.
We had Bo Creel's nephew. I forgot his name, but
Stevie Mons, and then there was
Yep.
Ryan. Was it Ryan Keefe?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so we had a diversity of music in there, and Gage killed it. You brought the band on that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
first
you did. I
first
remember-
band show.
Yeah, that was the great. Yeah, because
We were-
even the heavy rock band, I was like, man, this is phenomenal music.
Yeah, we were all shitting bricks. We had this was like our first, we'd done maybe 3 or 4 rehearsals, and we're like, all right, here we go. And I had never played with a band. I'm still getting used to playing, and then playing alongside other musicians and dealing with a full stage setup and everything. I was like, oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Is it overwhelming? Do you get used to it quick? Because I can only imagine. I mean, live band like that,
Yeah.
and you're used to. The only person I got to worry about is me, my strum pattern, and my lyrics.
Yep.
And now if one
different.
person plays the wrong chord, then if I don't just keep playing, I could throw this whole thing off.
Yep, it's different. I've learned a lot, especially in because we've gotten fortunate enough to play some really big band shows since then. And I've learned every time, I've learned something new. Like, okay, when in doubt, if you forget the lyrics, you can always go back to the chorus.
Yeah.
Nobody can even tell.
Yeah.
And then if you need to take a second, we can stretch a solo. And that's fine. So if I've learned not to freak out, if something happens, you just kind of deal with it and make it fun.
I love it.
So,
On
but yeah,
that
it
bigger
was,
show, he comes up to me beforehand. He's like, bear with us. It's my first time playing with the band. And I'm like, and it really doesn't matter because everybody in this room is already looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah.
Like, you're here for a reason. And, everybody wants to do well at what they do, but it didn't matter that day because all the people that were in there were there to support. So,
Yeah.
Once you're part of the family, you're part of the family. So.
I got to tell you, I remember when I was working with the sheriff's office, and there was a guy named Manish. I'm sure you know him. Yep. And he came up to me one day when we were at work, and he was like, "Hey, I worked this security detail. I was going to see if you wanted to jump on it, and I need some extra people." And I was like, "Yeah, what is it?" I'm thinking like it's watching a parking lot full of cars overnight or something like that. And he's like, "Well, it's for these MMA fights." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "I used to kind of get into a little bit of that in high school. I would love to come out." And sure enough, came out and met you guys, and everyone there just treated me like gold. And that was the one thing I took away from Impact is like, dude, this is a room full of amazing people. We've
been going back to Manish, so we had Anytime Fitness from 2008 until 2013, and then we became Impact. So Manish was a gym member. Came in all the time, chatted, did private details, but he had a whole bunch of boring stuff like the movie theaters.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So he's like, when the opportunity came for us to outsource security instead of having independent security and go to the sheriff's office, Manish was the first person I called because of the relationship through the gym. And Manish is a great guy, very close friend, had him over at family get-togethers too. So it's all tied together in one way or another, and that's why I feel like definitely it's God's plan.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Everything lines up just right for you to meet like the most wonderful people, I swear.
And now, out there in those bigger shows, doing your thing.
Yeah.
Winning
Keeping
Oklahoma, Zach Bryan.
Yeah, well, so I somehow or another, I ended up meeting Zach Bryan's father. His name is Dwayne Bryan, and I love talking about him on podcasts because a lot of people don't realize the stuff that he does for Northeast Oklahoma. He puts on these big charity events, and a lot of the money goes to help for cancer research or to help the local town that he grew up in or whatever the charity of the month is. But Dwayne is a very special person up there, and I had went up there to visit one of the festivals, and they were needing some help setting up the stage. And of course, I'm a musician, so I was like, "Yeah, I'll get up there." And they're like, "Can you sound check a song for us?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I get up there and I play a couple songs, and then all of a sudden some people are coming up to me like, "Hey, what's your name?" And I'm like, "I'm Gage. I'm from Florida." And they're like, "What in the world are you doing in Oklahoma?" And
Jason Twisters.
Yeah. So ended up meeting Dwayne that day, and he was very, very nice and welcomed me out to another event to actually play. And then since then, we headlined an event last year. No, it was just a few months ago. Yeah, it was back in June. We headlined an event that they had in Copan, like a little festival. And now I'm headed back this week, Thursday, for a thing he does called Dad's Walk. And it's basically a big charity walk event that he walks over 60 miles, and all the proceeds get donated into cancer research. So, bunch of good people up there in Oklahoma.
Just connecting the dots here, you learned how to play guitar to kind of teach your kids something, right?
Yeah.
And then you're going to headline this event for a dad walk. I mean,
Man.
that's everything happens for a reason.
Cool
The circle
thing.
of life, yeah.
Yep, and I'm telling you, like, there's a lot of work effort into it as well. Like, me, when I was with the sheriff's office, I was very work driven, had a high work ethic, and I think that flowed well into music because it helps me to stay on track and to keep going out, keep finding new shows. But a lot of the stuff has just been, I call it divine intervention. It was like God's just like, poof, here you go. Here's a perfect opportunity to play a really big show, And he makes it easy for me. So.
Man, when you first started, you got your break over there with Rob, and then you're starting to play shows. What was the balance like of playing covers, playing songs that other people know, and then playing your originals and sneaking those in? And how did you feel about playing covers versus playing your originals?
Still battle that to this day. I feel like it's an art because you don't want to play too many original songs because depending on your crowd, it can be a turnoff. If they don't know the song, they don't know to sing along with it, even if it's a great song. You got to earn their attention.
Yeah.
And even with the smaller bar shows, I try to throw in an original every now and then. But our big shows, when we're opening up for another artist or we're playing at a festival, I try to lean that more original to show the viewers that, hey, this is serious. This is something that I want to do for a living. I want to showcase my music, but I'm gonna sprinkle some really fun cover songs in between, and you guys are gonna love them. And I try to hit like the crowd favorites,
Yeah.
to keep people high energy. I mean, that's the one thing I've learned in all this is crowd work is 90% of it. If you can win a crowd, then you got a pretty good shot.
Absolutely, man. This is a lot of fun for me talking,
Yeah.
chatting with you here. Rob, you got anything else?
No, just appreciate you having part of it.
Man, I appreciate y'all having me. Like, seriously, and Rob is one of those people. He's one of the most humble people in the building, but he will move mountains for his friends, and he always has. And even before I was in music, when I was just with the sheriff's office, I mean, he did everything and anything he could to make me comfortable. He's helped out my family. We were just at the event last week, and I was trying to buy tickets, and he came up and he was like, "Nope, come on,
Get on in
I
here.
mean, like he's one of the most genuine, wonderful people I've ever met, and that includes the entire Impact family, really.
And kind of feeling like I'm a part of this Impact family now, that I feel the same exact way. I'm like, man, I was telling JD the other night at the end of the event, I was like, man, you're a great dude. You're raising a great young man in red, and then all of the people that y'all have introduced to me along the way, that makes me feel the same exact way as y'all do, and just feel like it's seamless, and you're just plugged in, and like, here we go. It's an amazing feeling, one of a kind, and I think again, a couple of the words that you've used, divine intervention, plays such a huge role in that.
Absolutely. It's funny because, a lot of times in the country music community with other musicians and stuff like that, they're like, you're always doing something with this MMA fight place. What's up with that? And I'm like, man, if you only knew. That's like some of the best people in the world, and I will always do stuff with them. Anything I can to collaborate.
Well, I have to drop your name and get a favor out of you. There's this one artist that I've been looking at. I'm trying to get her, and I've been dealing with her booking agency, so I got to see if there's a workaround. Her name is Whitney Lusk.
Whitney
I follow her
Lusk.
on social media, but she's an up-and-coming country artist. And Shelby loves music as well. Like, she loves watching all the competitions where the TV shows where they got to go on and sing to win. I'm more like, I want to find that song of an up-and-coming artist. Like, I remember Zach Bryan, Something in the Orange came out, and I was like, man, I just love this song. And it's going to be a hit. And I was walking on Beach Drive in Panama City with Tim and Vic, Shelby and I. And it's just one of those nights where we all had some free time, and we were just trying to unwind and just sit there and listen to the waves crash, have a couple drinks, and enjoy the time. And so I'm playing DJ on my phone as well. So I'm like, all right, guys, check this out. You got to hear this song. This guy's going to be something great. And Zach Bryan was it. And I said the same thing about Gage and the way that he sang Zach Bryan's songs. And I was like, you just have an ear for it. And people are going to be great, and you're going to be one of them.
I appreciate it, man.
There's no doubt about that. The sky's the limit for you, man, especially when you got Jesus in your corner like that, my man.
I feel like at the end of the day, the attitude I try to have towards it is like, if I go no farther than where I'm at right now, I haven't made. I pay my bills with a guitar. I get to drive around. I get to meet people all over the country. I get to spend a lot of time with my kids and my family, and I'm blessed beyond measure.
I love it, man. All glory to God. Gage Cowart, ladies and gentlemen, for Behind the Beat Down interview edition. Anything else here?
No, good to go.
All right, man.
Thank y'all so much for having me. I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you coming out.
All right. We'll see y'all on the next interview edition of Behind the Beat Down.